What's the matter, baby? You don't think I look pretty like this?
Have you ever been wowed by an actor's on-screen transformation? With CGI, there's not much we can't bring to screens today. But some productions still opt to use classic makeup and prosthetics to bring characters to life. For good reason. Check out these epic makeup transformations you won't believe.
Ruin my morning.
A queen in real life playing a queen on screen. It doesn't get much better than that. Or does it? We all know Angelina Jolie already has a facial structure we would all die for. But for her role as Maleficent, they had to exaggerate her cheekbones even more. When you watch the film, it 100% looks like they're manipulating her face using CGI, but it was actually all done by spending hours in hair and makeup and specifically made prosthetics.
I must say, I really felt quite distressed at not receiving an invitation.
Kristen Stewart played Bella Swan as both an ordinary human and a lethal vampire. But in between those two states, they had to make it seem like Kristen Stewart shed 30 pounds. While pregnant with Renesmee in Breaking Dawn Part 1, the makeup department had their work cut out for them when it came to Kristen. She had to wear prosthetics on her cheekbones, collarbones, and chin to give her face that sunken effect. The rest of her body was all done with CGI, but who would have thought her face was all done with makeup?
For a human, I can't imagine that it gets any better than her.
Jennifer Lawrence went blue for her role in X-Men. Literally blue. What you might have thought was done in the editing room was actually the result of 8 hours a day in the makeup chair. To transform into Mystique, she was sprayed with blue body paint each day, while the makeup team worked on the finer details of her transformation. It looks epic on screen, but that couldn't have been fun to take off.
I prefer the real Raven.
When Ryan Reynolds takes the screen as his sarcastic superhero Deadpool, wait, is he even a superhero? The majority of the time, he's covered in the latex suit Ryan loves to complain about so much. But underneath it, Deadpool is deeply scarred because of his intense battle with cancer. The scars look so realistic you would swear they're computer generated. But nope, they're all done with a bald cap, prosthetics, and a whole lot of talent.
Is the mask muffling my voice?
Because of how intense Pennywise looks in the It films, a lot of people probably don't even know who the actor is behind the killer clown. Well, his name is Bill Skarsgård, and he looks nothing like his character. His absurd-looking clown costume was also done with makeup and prosthetics. Come on, how is that even possible?
Meet Georgie. Georgie, meet Pennywise.
We thought for sure this character had to be computer generated, but we were wrong. While the proportions of the Red Queen were definitely manipulated within the final cut, Helena Bonham Carter's heavily receding hairline and all the rest of her appearance were done in hair and makeup. If she didn't have such a recognizable voice, we might not have even known it was her.
Find Ellis Stain! Find her!
Jacob Tremblay is the next Brad Pitt of Hollywood, and you can't convince us otherwise. Just look at his performance in the film Wonder as Auggie. Literally phenomenal, but it wasn't just his acting that brought the character to life. The makeup team worked themselves to the bone applying prosthetics and makeup in order to showcase Auggie's facial differences. He even had to wear a neck and face piece to bring it all together.
Bad days? Do people avoid touching you?
Yep, the Grinch is all makeup, hair and all. Jim Carrey's comedic genius is nothing short of epic in this role of the Grinch. But it wasn't the easiest time for the actor. The makeup for this costume was so intense that Jim Carrey was so close to dropping the role altogether. In the end, it was worth it, because we could have sworn that had to be done in the editing room.
But what would I wear?
The Harry Potter films are filled with different magical creatures. Most of them, like Dobby, Buckbeak, and Fluffy, were done using visual effects and CGI. But there's one character that wasn't. Griphook the Goblin. He looks just as real and epic as the other characters, but his look was achieved with 4 hours of prosthetics.
I suppose I'm stretching my acting muscles a little bit farther.
Let's just say we could never stumble into the Night King on Game of Thrones during our lives and be totally okay with it. Richard Brake brought to life a terrifying character, but that doesn't mean we can't appreciate how much talent went into his makeup. Yep, it's makeup. He was entirely made of prosthetics, and it took hours to glue them all on for his scenes.
So to create a prosthetic makeup and apply it to an actor is very much a team effort.
Speaking of Game of Thrones, Kai Alexander's character Leaf was absolutely epic. Look at her! But her character wasn't the easiest to bring to life on screen. Kai had to spend 10 hours in hair and makeup in order to transform into Leaf. Honestly, that sounds like a solid nap time.
We needed to defend ourselves.
From whom?
From you.
Nebula had a very specific robotic kind of look, which if we didn't have proof, we'd probably guess was all done using computers. But Karen Gillan actually spent 4 hours before her shoot days transforming into Nebula. The prosthetics even went all the way down to her arms and shoulders. Wondering how long it took to take off? About half an hour.
It's not ripe.
It couldn't have been easy for Ross Marquand to keep still while he got his makeup on for Red Skull. Just look at how many layers of prosthetics went into his transformation. And how exactly did they get the prosthetics to contour like that? We're kind of jealous?
If they shoot down one plane, hundreds more will rain fire upon them!
Oscar Isaac. Everyone recognizes him as the beloved Poe, but he was extremely unrecognizable in his role as SABAH Noor in X-Men Apocalypse. He had so much prosthetic and makeup on that you probably wouldn't have made the connection to Oscar when you saw the character on screen. Oscar claims it was so intense he couldn't even move his head, and at the end of the day, the makeup literally had to be scraped off of him.
I know you can hear me.
Zoe Saldana could definitely relate to what Jennifer Lawrence had to go through to become Mystique. She had her fair share of experience with body paint while playing her character Gamora in Guardians of the Galaxy. We can't imagine how hard it must have been to wash all that paint off every day after work.
Then why stop the big guy?
Okay, we for sure thought this one had to be CGI, but we were wrong. Idris Elba joins this list of actors because he spent hours every day getting prosthetics glued on. In the end, it gave us the character KRALL in Star Trek Beyond, so we're not complaining. Please someone give these makeup artists more credit.
I am counting on it, Lieutenant.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's famous line,
I'll be back,
made the Terminator epic, and so did the makeup department. Prosthetics and details were used to give him that peeled-back robot look underneath his skin. In fact, the makeup was so specific that the makeup team and the camera operators teamed up and figured out the angles that the makeup would look best during filming. Leonardo DiCaprio gave everything he had when it came to playing Hugh Glass in The Revenant. He literally fought a bear, but the special effects team also had a huge role in this Oscar-winning movie. His realistic wounds and even his dislocated ankle were all achieved using prosthetics and makeup, not CGI.
No, he won't. He's afraid.
Robert Englund's transformation into Freddy Krueger was revolutionary for its time. The makeup was phenomenal, and as the years went by and more films continued to come out, the makeup only got better. It was all thanks to prosthetics and a very talented special effects team.
Bring me more.
Mike Myers is hilarious, and so is his character, the Cat in the Hat. His costume process was super similar to Jim Carrey's for the Grinch, maybe just a little less intense. Instead of CGI, they decided to keep it real. They used actual human hair to glue to his face, and the rest was makeup and prosthetics. They even had to use magnets to keep everything together.
Let's take a look under the hood.
All of these transformations have us thinking that maybe we should give a little more credit to the hair and makeup teams on these films. Without them, none of our favorite characters would look as iconic as they do. Which character transformation were you most shocked by? Let us know in the comment section below. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.